has a Citadel of Dune and speed upgrading, so starting to worry about that blockade, and also looks like he's going to start thinking about an offensive drop. Let's see if he is producing a drop shuttle right now. Has a couple Dragoons posted out just in case a drop's coming from Random Korean. Random Korean once again just double checking just in case a dropship dropped a probe down, and really that's important, guys. And he's going to take the 9 o'clock position in the meantime. Xeris pushing up with a large force of Dragoons, thinking about I'm not sure if he's thinking about securing another location, double checking, making sure that Random Korean hasn't spread himself too thin, maybe thinking about attack, maybe getting positioned to kind of do a distractionary attack as soon as the let's see if any Dark Templar are coming out here in a second, attacking up the front here, taking out a couple mines, letting sure Random Korean knows that this large force is here, which really is a good idea if you're setting up for kind of a drop harass. Now producing some Dark Templar out of the front, and now splitting his forces here, taking a few shots there. 2 tanks and a couple Marines, and honestly, if Xeris decided to push here with that OBS out, he probably would be successful there. It looks like but he's a little bit more dedicated to the drop, this OBS out here in the open, so he's going to bring his forces back for the moment. Comsat's going off from Random Korean to make sure, again, that no expansion is down. A lot of looks like level 1 armor, level 1 weapons probably going as well. Let's double check, and right this moment, the dropship loading up with a couple Dark Templar. Another gateway down, so you got basically 6-7 gateways down for Xeris. And in a decent position economically. We'll see if he decides to switch into 2-gate kind of carrier build or what upper level tech. So now going to push in for his harass. Looks like he's setting up to take yet another expansion as well, and a little bit worried. As you can see, Random's going to put a couple mines, and now here's Xeris. So what he's going to do is he's going to do a two-pronged thing. He's going to attack at the front to distract Random Korean. While he's doing so, he's going to do a drop backside, and as you can see, there's no forces back here, just this single turret, so Random isn't going to have he's not going to have an easy task fending that off. So Xeris is now going to be able to take down all these troops. In the meantime, very sneakily going to sneak in the back, drop these units off, dropping the Dark Templar, and that was some beautiful building, as you can see there. Shows experience. Loses the drop shuttle just because couldn't get it in, drop these guys off, and get it back without losing that drop shuttle, just because of the way Random Korean built this. Comsat going off the last second just to make sure he didn't got something out of that. Now SCV starting to get massacred a little bit. Only took 1 SCV though before it's engaged. And the second Comsat, and that's going to be it for that Dark Templar harass. In the meantime, going to pull the rest of his forces back. So semi-successful, not as successful as it could have been, but I think that's kind of a testament to that. Basically, that a little bit of that building design, as you can see, putting the buildings out to the perimeter against a Protoss player, and then putting that turret right on the interior. So if the drop comes in, it has to go, it has to encroach, and then as soon as it sees the turret, it's getting hit. Basically, pylon down, probably to put down a couple cannons to seal that expansion for Xeris. Xeris bringing some speed upgraded zealots up. Let's see, level 1 weapons is not finished yet. Probably pretty close. Yeah, just a sliver left on both upgrades, and putting down 2 Stargates in the meantime. Now pushing up, starting to go for attack, and this is where Xeris is miscued a little bit. Basically, he did the harass, and he's done a little bit of kind of forced action here, but he's basically let Random Korean sit too long, and you never want to let a Terran mass. You always want to keep the pressure on. You always want to do something to harass the economy. Tanks just going to shell from the edge here. It looks like he's going to pull back because I think he thinks there's more tanks there than there actually are, because you never want to go up into a Terran that has just a huge tank ridge position. You're never going to be able to take it. Pulling back, more tanks pushing in, and Xeris going to pull back, and I think that we'll see if he puts down that expansion here in just a second. A couple more tank hits, and even though obviously Xeris could do a lot more damage, just because of a lack of information, I don't think he's going to push up. Going to be able to take one of those tanks out. But in the meantime, a decent-sized attack force being generated for Random. He's got 2 more. Wow, it looks like he lifted off and shifted to the location of his factory. As you can see, there's a lot of factories up at this point, and should just be able to push in a minute. Looks like he's going to, again, bring the Vulture down the bottom left-hand corner, make sure it's not scouted, taken by Xeris. Force gathering in the middle, so we'll see if Xeris decides to do anything in the near future. 2 Stargates down, and it looks like a Arbiter Tribunal being built, so deciding to go Arbiters instead of Carriers, which, honestly, I would go Carriers, but Arbiters are fine as well. Probably going to go for some recalls, but again, I think he just let Random Korean mass a little too long. As you can see, tanks starting to hit the Dragoons out in the open. Tanks going out to deal with the Zealots, and there weren't a lot of Zealots here in the first place. 2 Templar coming up, but one of them looks like they both look like they have enough energy to do Psystorm, but not going to be able to get in position to Psystorm the tank. So not enough Zealots in Xeris' grouping, and now Random Korean going to start his push to try to create a seal. And really what he's going to aim for, as you can see, putting down that Nexus, I'm surprised by that. Really what he's going to try to aim for is creating a seal right around this area so he can funnel troops up and kind of shell from the ridge here and do kind of a general contain across this gap. and starting to push up, move the tanks forward, and this is really where the general area is going to be. That general area is going to be where really the hard fighting is going to be over. As you can see, that engineering bay playing a little bit of factory is going to push it up and spot that expansion going up. He's going to have to cancel this because obviously no way he's going to be able to hold it. Turrets going up, so Random Korean doing a very steady push here. No more vultures, but he really doesn't need vultures as long as Random Korean is, or I'm sorry, as long as Xeris is not producing zealots to suicide in. More vultures actually pushing up now for him, and still doing decently well. Looks like he's got all the expansions doing doing an excellent job spending his resources across the board. Has a dropship up, so he's thinking about doing a kind of a harass drop. Has level 1 weapons. Let's see how Xeris is doing. Level 1 weapons, level 1 shields. Let's see if they're continuing to upgrading. Xeris is going to continue to level 2 weapons. Doesn't look like he's going to go for level 2 shield. And Random Korean in the meantime thinking about expanding in the bottom left hand corner. So a pretty decent seal here. He's going to want to expand it a little further down. I'm surprised he decided to plant the mines here. Going to be content to protect this mineral expansion. And I guess what he's probably going to do is thinking about dropping on the ridge and taking this and just kind of allowing the drops to deal with the rest backside. That way he doesn't get caught out of position. But we'll see, as it looks like he actually was kind of pushing forward, and Xeris realizes he does not want to get caught off from kind of this ramp funnel area. He does not want to lose this general area and get kind of shelled even with a mischance from below and have to do fight. The Arbiters are out, so basically Xeris setting up, going to try to create a seal. He's in a lot of trouble. He's really getting sealed in at this point. A lot of mines out, which is exactly what Random needs to do, is set those mines out in the open to deal with these Zealots should they go. And now going to do a 2-pronged attack. This group to the side, which is going to be really hard because a lot of tanks there, no Arbiter on that side. This Arbiter and a lot of mines going off on these Zealots, and easily taking care of those Zealots, and those were well spaced by Random. And so it doesn't look like this container's going to be broken by Xeris this time. He's going to have to pull those Arbiters back, and losing a lot of units there. As you can see, I think I don't know what his unit count was before, but now his unit count significantly lower, and Random continuing to push the seal. As you can see, setting up here. Let's see if he decides to bring all his tanks up. Yeah, he's going to start. Let's see if he successfully gets the seal along this area. My guess is he probably, he's already got that dropship loaded up, already thinking about it. Lost it. There it is. Lost its location on the map. Probably going to put a couple tanks in there and then push up forward. Got a couple, as you can see, these vultures on patrol. Just want to make sure he doesn't get flanked at this position. In the meantime, setting up here, he's got this expansion up, isn't mining out of it. He has 2 more factories down, however, and is continuing to pumping. So Xeris actually in a little bit of trouble here, continuing to produce units, continuing to produce Arbiters, but really he just does not have the units to break this contain, and really it's in Random Korean's control. It's his game to win or lose at this point. And as you can see, just trying to continue to mine. He does have a good amount of expansions up, not doing a fantastic job spending all of his resources. Has this opt out and put up and did a stasis there on those tanks. And really, if you're going to do a stasis, you want to have your units right there with the stasis, but now bringing the units up. So he is probably going to be able to break this general area, even with a smaller unit count, because of the stasis. It looks like he's going to lose an Arbiter, though, pushing it a little too close to the going to lose both Arbiters, actually, and that's a bit costly. Because really what could get Xeris back in this game is a nice recall, and I say that because I've already seen this game, but I would have said that anyway. A good recall could really put him back in it, and these tanks are absolutely, see, they unstasis and they get massacred. And another Arbiter here pushing up. And in the meantime, Random Korean, while Xeris is distracted, going to take the opportunity to start shelling from the ridge. And I think the